What happens when a country kicks out one of its most skilled and dedicated workforces? Regret, massive regret. We're talking about decisions so catastrophic they send entire economies into a nosedive. These nations thought they were protecting local jobs, but instead they created a void no one else could fill. The world runs on skilled labor, and when you remove a key piece, everything falls apart. From healthcare crises to economic collapses, countries that sent Filipinos home faced crippling shortages and failing industries. Today, we're counting down 15 nations that regret kicking out Filipinos. And the consequences will shock you. We'll break down what happened, why, and the wild lengths these countries went to fix their colossal mistake. Let's get into it. Number 15 is Saudi Arabia. In 2011, the Saudization policy aimed to replace foreign workers with locals, pushing out hundreds of thousands of Filipinos. The result? Hospitals faced a critical shortage of skilled nurses. Filipinos had been the backbone of their medical system. Wait times soared, patient care plummeted, and surgeries were postponed. The government realized too late that their healthcare system couldn't function without Filipino expertise. Public outcry forced a complete reversal. Saudi Arabia began aggressively recruiting Filipino nurses again, offering higher salaries and better benefits. The lesson: you can't swap out a highly skilled workforce overnight. The dedication and expertise of Filipino workers proved absolutely essential. Saudi Arabia learned the hard way. Filipinos weren't just valuable, they were irreplaceable. Their absence nearly crippled the nation's health system. Pride gave way to necessity. Number 14 is Kuwait. In 2018, after abuse cases, the Philippines banned workers from going to Kuwait. Overnight, Kuwaiti households and businesses were thrown into chaos. Filipinos had been the trusted backbone of domestic help and service industries. When the pipeline stopped, families scrambled and businesses suffered. Attempts to replace Filipinos failed. No one matched their skills or adaptability. Service quality dropped and the economy took a hit. Kuwait had to negotiate with the Philippines, agreeing to better protections just to lift the ban. Employers rushed to rehire Filipinos, proving their skills were irreplaceable. The ban's end was a clear admission. Kuwait needed Filipinos more than they'd ever admitted. Their absence exposed the country's deep dependence. Number 13 is Qatar. The 2017 regional blockade caused uncertainty, and many Filipinos left. Qatar's booming hospitality sector, hotels, restaurants, tourism, was powered by Filipinos. As they departed, service quality crumbled and the country's reputation suffered. With the World Cup looming, Qatar faced a public relations nightmare. The government scrambled to lure Filipinos back, offering incentives and stability. When the crisis eased, employers went on a hiring spree for Filipinos. Qatar learned world-class service isn't about buildings, it's about people. The Filipino touch was irreplaceable. Their absence nearly derailed Qatar's global ambitions. Number 12 is the UAE. In 2020, the UAE suspended new work permits for Filipinos, halting the flow of talent that fueled its growth. Construction projects stalled, retail and healthcare sectors struggled. Filipino nurses and staff were vital, and their absence caused immediate gaps. Businesses lobbied the government, warning of economic damage. The UAE quickly reversed course, reopening doors for Filipino workers. The brief suspension proved how deeply the UAE depended on this workforce. Filipino skills and work ethic had become essential to the country's success. The lesson was clear. Efficiency and progress relied on Filipino labor. The UAE couldn't function without them. Number 11 is Malaysia. In 2016, Malaysia froze foreign worker recruitment to prioritize locals. The service industry, retail, food, hospitality, suffered immediately. Filipinos had filled roles locals didn't want, known for their English skills and customer service. Businesses struggled to find replacements and service quality dropped. The economic cost outweighed any benefit. After months of pain, Malaysia lifted the freeze, welcoming Filipinos back. The failed experiment proved their unique skills were vital. Malaysia learned not all jobs can be filled locally. Number 10 is Japan. Facing an aging population, Japan needed caregivers, but strict requirements kept most Filipinos out. Nursing homes became dangerously understaffed and care quality declined. The crisis forced Japan to relax rules and create new visa pathways. They began actively recruiting Filipinos, recognizing their world-class reputation. It was a major cultural shift, driven by necessity. Japan learned that compassion and skill couldn't be replaced by policy. Filipino caregivers became essential to the nation's future. The lesson, sometimes opening up is the only solution. Japan's care system now depends on Filipino workers. Number 9 is Singapore. In 2020, strict border controls cut off Filipino workers key to domestic help and healthcare. Families and hospitals faced immediate crises, demand soared, but supply vanished. The cost of domestic help skyrocketed and hospitals struggled with staff shortages. Singapore quickly created special arrangements to bring Filipinos back. The crisis revealed how deeply society relied on them. Filipino workers were the backbone of homes and hospitals. Their absence made Singapore's dependence undeniable. The country adapted fast, prioritizing their return. Number 8 is Hong Kong. In 2017, talk of replacing Filipinos with cheaper labor sparked a hiring experiment. Employers quickly realized it wasn't just about cost. Filipinos brought education, English skills, and cultural fit. Communication barriers and lower initiative plagued replacements. Demand for Filipinos shot up, and agencies were flooded with requests. The government backed away from policy changes. The market spoke. Filipino domestic workers were irreplaceable. Hong Kong's families proved their value. The experiment failed. Filipinos remained essential. Number 7 is South Korea. Visa restrictions aimed at controlling immigration led to severe labor shortages in manufacturing. Factories slowed, some risked closure, Korean workers weren't enough. Filipino workers were prized for technical skills and work ethic. Business federations pressured the government to change course. South Korea revised its policies, increasing quotas for Filipino workers. The economy rebounded, proving technology still needs people. Filipino labor was crucial to South Korea's export engine. The lesson: automation can't replace everyone. Number 6 is Italy. Tightened immigration policies left families unable to find caregivers for their elderly. Filipinos had long filled this essential role. Restrictions led to a black market for labor and inconsistent care. Hospitals saw more elderly patients lacking home support. Public outcry forced the government to issue amnesties and raise quotas for caregivers. Italy's family structure depended on Filipino compassion and reliability. The cycle of restriction and regret repeated. Italy learned some roles are too vital to restrict. Number 5 is Canada. Changes to the live-in caregiver program in 2014 made it harder for Filipinos to qualify. The result? A severe shortage of affordable childcare and elder care. Parents left the workforce, and the economy suffered. Advocacy groups pushed for change, and the government reversed course. New pilot programs made it easier for Filipinos to come and stay. Canada realized its prosperity depended on these caregivers. Filipino workers kept families and the economy running. The lesson: well-intentioned policy can backfire. Number 4 is the United States. Stricter immigration policies slowed the flow of Filipino nurses. Rural hospitals and inner-city hospitals faced critical shortages. Fewer nurses meant worse patient outcomes and higher risks. Healthcare providers lobbied for change, citing the need for Filipino professionals. Efforts to clear visa backlogs and streamline processes followed. The U.S. learned its healthcare system couldn't function optimally without Filipinos. The demand remains so high, they fight bureaucracy to bring them in. Filipino nurses are the backbone of American care. Number 3 is Australia. An aging population created huge demand for aged care workers. Visa reforms made it harder to hire Filipinos, leaving facilities understaffed. The Royal Commission exposed systemic failures tied to labor shortages. Public campaigns forced the government to prioritize aged care visas. Australia now actively recruits Filipinos to fill thousands of roles. The lesson: protecting local jobs is pointless if no locals want them. Filipino workers became essential to caring for Australia's elderly. The country's well-being depended on their skills. Australia learned the hard way. Number 2 is Taiwan. Tech and manufacturing rely on Filipino workers for productivity and reliability. Policy freezes and restrictions caused immediate production delays and supply chain disruptions. Attempts to replace Filipinos failed. No one matched their skills or low turnover. The tech industry lobbied for open recruitment, warning of economic fallout. Each restriction led to regret and reversal. Taiwan's status as a tech giant depended on Filipino labor. The cycle was clear: restrict, suffer, reverse. Filipinos kept Taiwan's factories running. Number 1 is Israel. Filipino caregivers became like family to Israel's elderly, including Holocaust survivors. Crackdowns and deportations separated vulnerable seniors from trusted caregivers. The emotional and physical toll was immense. Families and advocacy groups protested, demanding change. The government was forced to reform policies and allow long-term caregivers to stay. Israel learned this wasn't just about labor, it was about compassion and dignity. Filipino care became an irreplaceable part of Israel's social fabric. The crisis revealed the deep human bonds at stake. Israel's lesson: some workers are family. 15 nations, 15 stories of regret. Filipinos are truly irreplaceable. Skilled, compassionate, and essential worldwide. When countries tried to move on without them, crisis followed. The pattern is clear: restrict, regret, scramble to bring them back. These stories aren't just about labor, they're about necessity and value. The world works because Filipinos make it work. Which country's story surprised you most? Let us know in the comments. If you found this eye-opening, like and subscribe for more stories that make you think.